Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all being here. As we have ourselves in the top right-hand side, our red Zerg play to kick us off in this best of 3 semi-finals of WardiTV Mondays edition 38. We have ourselves Rogue in the top right-hand corner. Bottom left, the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid. We have got Cure. In number 1 of this best of 3, as we get this up, running, and ready to party. Again, thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you're all doing well, feeling good, and excited for some more StarCraft. As, yeah, we're kind of coming out of like this kind of weirder spell where it's been a little bit busy here and there, and there's been stuff going on. We'll have ourselves the conclusion shortly of kind of crazy other events going on, and we can get back to some WardiTV stuff coming up. One thing I was just wondering, when is the global qualifiers? I completely forgot. 21st and 22nd. I need to take note of that before I try and stream over it accidentally. Yeah, ideally we try and avoid that as best as we can. Alrighty, as we get this up and running, bottom left-hand side is our command center belonging to Cure. Like I said, Rogue's in the top right. He's our Zerg. Let's see if we can get ourselves a ZvP final today. As, yeah, this WardiTV Mondays. Has Cure ever won one of these? I want to say he hasn't, which is kind of bonkers. Cure's a very good player. He's very competent online. Again, not a lot of people have won these tournaments. Just Clem, 16 wins. MaxPax and Hero tied at 7 wins each. Hey, that's actually could be the first time ever Hero breaks into the top 2 of WardiTV Monday wins, because MaxPax has always been in that second place position pretty much. Beyond with 2 wins, Classic with 2 wins, Shin and Firefly both with a win each, and Trap as well, as Firefly won last week when everyone else was flying back from Dallas, apart from MaxPax, who blundered in the finals and gave Firefly that rare non-MaxPax Hero and Clem victory in a WardiTV Monday. So yeah, both of these guys, Cure and Rogue, will have their shot. Actually, have any of these guys even been in the finals before is a good question. Yeah, Cure's been in the finals once. This is, I think, what's even more baffling to me, is that Cure plays this cup pretty much every week. He's a very consistent participant. Him not making the finals one time is also a baffling result. He's so good. He's so good. But he just doesn't make it that far a lot of the time. Let's see if he can do it today. Well, let's see if Rogue will make a surprise Zerg finals appearance. We only had one Zerg winner back when Shin won back in Edition 2. Keep MaxPax in the finals back then. Crazy to see another Zerg winner as well. In the WardiTV Monday series, the Reaper going to fight, the Feelings taking some shots, damage being done, and the Queen going to come back over. Reaper will continue to take some hits for a few moments here, and some damage being dealt somewhat across the board for the moment. Couple Hellions coming online. Get that ready. The Feeling is going to go chasing after a Reaper for a moment or two as well. Vigilant out overhead. A couple of Hellions and the Banshee coming through. The SCVs and the Orbital coming up. And the Hellions and the Reaper continue to come about. Lings, drones, queens continue to come on through. As that Banshee comes up, cloaking on the way. We just have ourselves the Orbital command coming about, SCVs and the Hellions coming about as well. As the Reaper and the Hellions move up toward the top side. Let's see the factory moving over to the side. Just going to be seeing the Hellions and the Reaper still moving across for a couple of seconds. Again, Cloaking coming about, the Stim coming through, the Banshee on the way. And just have ourselves the couple of extra barracks and the reactor coming online as well. The Banshee goes over the right-hand side. Kia pulling back toward the natural. Spores and the Rotron coming up and online. And that Banshee and that Cloak still very much so coming through. Get ourselves a couple of Evo Chambers coming up. The Spores coming in. Again, the Queen's Gathering just going to join together for a few moments. We have the Lair, the drones, the Overlord, the Evos continue to come through. Roach Speed is coming up as well. And the Hellions coming online. We've seen the Queens and the Lings coming across. Just going to be seeing the Hellions can push back a little bit as well. Banshee still firing onto the hatch. SCVs go down, which is nice. I mean, Rogue... Well, I'm actually surprised Rogue did not do very well in the EWC qualifiers. Losing to Ryong was really a shocker. I felt like Rogue had been kind of blasting off in this matchup, especially lately. Melee upgrades coming through. Roach Speed finishing shortly. Infestation Pit will be coming online. The Baneling Nest still coming up and through as well. So we get all of that going. Again, melee upgrades coming up. Roach Speed building. And we just got a Hive in the Bane Nest. Very much so being brought in as well. Add a couple of Infestors in onto that as well. We're going to be feeling good. As a couple of Banshees make their way to the bottom left-hand side. Was Rogue at Dallas? He was. He actually made a pretty decent run at Dallas as well, but was shy of the playoffs by a match or two, I want to say. I can't remember who he lost to off the top of my head. I think he lost to a Protoss player, and I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. His ZvP definitely hasn't looked as good as his other matchups. Lost to Hero? Yeah, that makes sense. He lost to Hero when Hero got knocked down by... Because Hero struggled initially, right? Hero got through his group in kind of like second place. Who did Hero lose to in the winning bracket at Dallas? Raynor? Yes. Yes. Hero didn't play well at Dallas, right? Yeah, that Raynor 3-0 was kind of surprising in itself. As Infestors going to get a couple of Fungals down. Roger's coming forwards. Upgrades are there for Cure, but not able to break through just yet. And Rogue is going to defend and push back. Now again, his one melee upgrades finished. Bane Speed coming through. Kind of a fascinating game. Hive is done. Ultra Cavern coming up. Already had some Infestors for Fungals. It's been a very unique way of playing out of Rogue so far. Definitely not your kind of everyday kind of given style. That Adrenal Gland is going to be coming in for him as well very quickly, and he's going to add on a couple more Infestors again, so really looking to have these Fungals nice and early, and stop a lot of this kind of bully pushing that you can kind of do a lot of the time as Cure. Banshees will work around the left side. Couple of Creep Tumors begin to take some shots. Queen still taking damage. That one in the front taking a few hits once again. Just going to see the Overseer coming through as well. Ultra Cavern coming up, the Infestors coming about, Adrenal Glands, 2 melee upgrades, all of that continue to come through for the moment. The Medivacs and everything else coming back around down to the south. These Lings are going to run in, Marines are going to be right there, as they have to lift up and pull back away that right-hand side. Rogue did lose to Manifest, yeah, because I remember looking at the bracket, Mana was down a game, I was like, oh, that's such a shame, because I felt like Mana had been playing really well lately, and I felt like in ZvP he could kind of beat Rogue, you know? And then he did, and then he actually lost to Rogue in the rematch, no? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The bracket's all coming back to me now. See, I just needed 1 or 2 bits of info. Now all the full picture's coming back into my head. Yeah, that was a fun event. Marines and tanks continue to step forward. We will have... the Fungal is obviously very potent. If you just step in, clumped up, you're going to be in some trouble. Banes are coming through as well. Chitin is playing for the Ultras, especially Fungals plus Ultras. Yeah, what I love is that Rogue has gone to a super scary army composition. You know? Like, very easily. Bane's going to step forward. The Siege Tank going to be firing. The Bane's going to see a few sneaking through already. Marines splitting a lot of those Banes going down. 8 SCVs, 11, 12 SCVs going down. Marauder, Banshee continue to come across at the moment. Just going to see the 3-3 upgrades going through. Siege tank still building. The army setting up still. Nice fungal on the Banshees, which is just going to be a way to kind of clean those up, or at least it should have been. We missed the corrosive vials on them. I guess that's not super crazy. It's not easy to hit them, even if they are fungaled. Got the bio showing up. Rogue threatening the counterattack. It seems like Kira is going to be able to deal with that. The forward units here get caught in a fungal. Okay, the counterattack is actually pretty substantial. The Ultra especially makes this pretty tough. We do not chase into the natural wall off, though. It's a little bit too much of a position, apparently, as Rogue is likely going to have to give up this right side base. He has a replacement base along the top of the map, so I'm not super worried about him. He is actually going to come in and try and save this, using the units that were attacking on the other side of the map as a flanking squadron to come in here and grab these couple of left side siege tanks, or at least try to. A little bit of bio there is actually doing wonders against those Ultras, and wow, that's a hell of a defense from Kira on this position, because Rogue really felt like he picked his own fight there, and it did not go his way. Now our bio of army continues to surge forward. The creep tumors continue to go down, and as we get rid of that creep, we clean up some of this position on this map, we clean up some of the vision. It becomes a little bit tougher once again for Rogue to really kind of step up, stand up, and make something happen on this. So let's see what the plan kind of is from here. I mean, my concern is that these first few Ultras have not hit as hard as you want them to hit. When you get those Ultras so quickly with the support of Infestors, it's like, I really feel like they've got so much potential. But if they're not doing damage already, it's not exactly going to get better as a whole bunch of ghosts come onto the field. So now it feels like Rogue is on this army comp, which is going to be very soon outdated and outmatched. And then it's kind of down to him to kind of think, well, what do I do next to kind of keep switching it up to actually give my army a chance against you? I mean, maybe you can just stick with the Ultras and take some good fights and, you know, engage and surround. Guess we shall see very shortly as a couple of Banes run in. Ling Bane Ultra going to chase into this group of bio as well. A couple of Ultras down to the south side going to get rid of a Plantry. That's nice, getting rid of a base. Slow some of that Cure money down, slow some of that Cure rebuild down. We actually are getting rid of a lot of the siege tanks as well, which is nice. I guess the hatchery, Ling Ultra coming over. We will see the, again, +3 vehicle weapons, the cloaking, and the ghosts continue to come through as well. Ghosts continue to gather together. Marine Marauder coming about. Just going to be seeing the bio continue to step over as the Ultras and the Banes crash through. Bane's gathering, Queen joining. I'm just going to see the Overlord taking some shots. Drone going to get picked away at there. The few Lings coming forward. A couple creep tumors moving back, and the Ultras will continue to set up into the center for a couple of moments. And the +1 missiles, +1 flyer attack, all coming into play at the moment as the Nidus network continues through. The Lings get in. SCV is going to have to lift off, and CC's going to have to lift off into the S, and some SCVs jumping inside of it. Get my words out properly. That's about 20 words to explain that the SCV's hitting a CC. I like the Nidus though from Rogue. Another way for him to kind of maneuver around the map and to keep himself busy and to keep Kua busy as well, right? It gives Kua a lot of extra things to worry about and a lot of extra positions that are now much more engageable. And you know, suddenly as Kua, you have to think about defending a lot of those positions that you didn't have to before. Definitely something to think on as the siege tank continues to gather, and the Nidus network still very much so setting up as well. 10 Overseers will morph in, so Rogue gonna have plenty of those, gonna have plenty of Changelings, gonna cloud up the skies, and play into this later stage of the game. We're 15 minutes deep. It's the kind of game right now where if this hit 25, 30 minutes, I don't think anyone's gonna be too surprised from the position that we're in at the moment, so looking good right now. Banshee cloaking, bio gathering, ghosts gathering, 3 more factories coming up from Kira. In fact, we've got an idea of what he's doing. The thing is, we're at the stage of the game where a Broodlord switch is somewhat possible as well. And if you are going to go up against Broodlords, then obviously, you know, kind of comes down to like the Thors, I suppose. So yeah, we'll see. The Banshee gonna be firing through. The Queen taking some damage. Queen actually gonna take a lot of hits. It's gonna go down. Yeah, just having those factories available to build Thors just in case Broodlords show up is not a bad preparation from Q. So yeah, making that happen. And yeah, just 60 more Overlords. Rogue knows he loses Overlords in these later stages. CCs, the missile turret continue to come about. +1 vehicle plating. Steel frame coming up as well. The Broodlords on eventuality. Like I said, Great Spire coming in. We might not go into them straight away, but just as Q is prepping the factories in case he needs to deal with them, Rogue is prepping the Spire and Greater Spire in case he wants to switch into them as well. It's a lot of thinking into the future here rather than the here and the now. Like right now, you know, 10 Broodlords out of nowhere would be lovely, but I don't know if he's got the bank to also just kind of rebuild into Corruptors straight into Broods. That Broodlord switch is something you've got to really time out. Usually as a Zerg in a game, you get one Broodlord switch, and that's kind of it, because once the Thors are out, they stay in the army. So usually you get kind of one switch into Broodlords, and if it doesn't work out, then that's it. So yeah, there's a timing you want to try and figure out, and kind of hit it one of the better possible times if you can. I mean, obviously doing it off of a large bank helps as well, because it gives you a good reinforcement wave after the Broodlord fight, so yeah, a lot of things to kind of piece together as we enter the later stages of this game. The Lings turned around by a siege tank, and the Overseers are flying across the map as Zoom and join up with the rest of the squad here, and ready some of this potential continued aggression, and Exchange Lane providing the Nidus into the main. There's Marines and Medevac here to deal with it, but it's like 10 supply that's just being kept back. Defending Nidus is in the main base alone, so you are already seeing kind of the effects of the Nidus pressure coming into play already. +2 fly attack, +1 fly carapace coming up, +2 missiles coming up. I'm just gonna get there. Knight is gonna take a few more shots. Gonna go for Ling Ultra, the Banes as well. Gonna come straight through. Gonna come diving in. We do have our planetary. Is gonna take a few shots and it's gonna go down. All those Banes crashing through, the SCVs continue across. Nice dying again. We're just going to see these Ultras still crashing through. And a good little bit of a connection in there. The Overseers overhead. The Ultras are going to go moving away as well. Link Corruptor. It's going to fire. Knight is still taking some damage. We do have the Ghost obviously out and just finding snipes. Every snipe is value. Every time you hear that little ping, it's value. Even if it's just like a shot that doesn't kill anything, right? That's a time taken to come and regen energy, or a transfusion that then has to regen as well. Okay, maybe that's not the most value, but that's only costing you energy as well, right? So even energy for energy is fine. And a lot of the time when you hit that snipe, even if it doesn't kill right there, there's a chance it leads you to a kill later on. So, and that's what you're looking for as Q, just as many of those pew-pews as you can get. Rogue attempting Knight is back at the natural. Q, credit to him, he's kept his eyes sharply on that mini-map. His awareness has been spot on. He's not letting Nidus come up behind him, behind his own lines at all here. He plays a good defensive arc across the bottom left of the map. Good job by Rogue with these Corruptors finding the CC. Anything you can do to delay extra bases, delay some of this mining. One step over. Now he's going to take some damage. The Thor will get a few shots off as well. Orbital still just chilling there. +3 missile attack coming through. The Nidus, the Marines. Oh, sorry, Nidus and the Ling still coming about. See the Overseers still gathering together. Infest is gathering up. Yeah, the Nidus do cost, obviously, but the thing is, the amount that each Nidus costs you versus the attention it's taken is pretty fair. Like, at the end of the day, like, it is some gas, yes, and it does eat away at Rogue. You can't do it endlessly, but I feel like he's spacing them out where it's like one every now and again is keeping Kua very honest. He's keeping him paying attention. It's making him have to, like, always possibly have units nearby. And you only really need one successful Nidus to find a lot of that value back as well. It's a great jump on that forward base. And this time these Nidus are going to go off. There's one in the front here. Do we have anything actually inside of it? A couple of Lings and Ultras. Is that good enough against these few units that are over here? Ultra going to go snagging a few Marines. Obviously, Nidus in the main base is going to come up as well. So we actually are taking some issues now. And as this Nidus comes up, we'll see if anything else pulls out of it. Catches a fungal, and the rest of the army in the middle of the map. Rogue getting a catch. And he's going to clean up a bunch of the medevacs. Ultra's just going to be left to chomp through a couple of siege tanks as well. Just going to go straight after the Nidus. The other units coming about, hatch setting up. An Overseer flooding through the bottom side. I mean, Kira's going to lose another base down over here. Rogue continue to make impacts, chasing down a lot of this army. That's a lot of Banelings that are actually still heading in towards Kira's forces. What can he get done? He's going to finish off that planetary. There are other bases to replace it with, but that's 2 CCs going down. It's a good connection from Rogue. Obviously, a lot of rebuilding to be done here from Kira. A lot of setting back up. One of the building CCs. In fact, he's morphing that planetary in, right? Yeah, that's a planetary in front. He might want to cancel that and actually use that as a base. He's not going to notice it in time. Yeah, I mean, Kira is actually being put down into less mining than he would like, I'm sure of it. As we have a little bit of a step on the creep. Obviously, there's a lot of creep on this map. Changelings coming through. We've continued to see the Nidus attempts coming around as Rogue continues to try and make his way through his opponent. Bane step up. Marines and the Marauder going down. Another Nidus coming into place as the couple of libs gather together. Going to be seeing those Swarm Hosts coming through. This is something that we saw from Rogue first against Spirit in the TLMC. And this idea of kind of like a later game Swarm Host transition to find efficiency against a Terran is a pretty wild concept, but it actually can work pretty well. It's enough Corruptors right now and not enough Ghosts, so they are just going to go through and finish off a couple of these Libs. Don't hate that, but we did lose a lot of Corruptors as well. Bats will go after those drones. 8 of these guys going down already. 10 Corruptors, 20 Lings coming through as well. Just going to be having the Swarm Hosts coming in again. The Hellbats are great against these Swarm Hosts, great against these Locusts, but they're just not in the position to protect the tanks right now. So you're seeing Rogue get a good amount of value out of these Swarm Host Locust waves so far. They are connecting, they're connecting nicely. Siege tank on the top left side will continue to hit the hatchery. A couple drones going down. Tanks and the Hellbats continue to come about for the moment. We'll knock down the missile turret. The siege tank there is in some trouble as well. Going to continue to take an absolute beating. It is indeed going to fall. A few ghosts still just nibbling up at the Nidus. I mean, again, these Locusts dropping in. This time the Hellbats are a little close to some of the tanks, but especially on that left side. In the center of the army, the Locusts don't do well. On the right side, they get a tank maybe. We're just flooding units out of Niduses wherever we can to try and help out. Hellbat's going to get rid of a few more Zerglings. The advanced ballistics coming through. Still siege tanks coming up. Refineries on the way. Orbital building. There's a couple of Marauders are going to stem forward. A few of those creep teamers beginning to drop. I like it though, man. These Locusts are still putting in work. The thing is for Rogue is you don't have to do this or win this all at once right now, you know? You can win this over a lot of fights over a long period of time, and his Ling's obviously hitting that planetary is a waste because that should just get repaired. Even if you lose one base here, Rogue has a lot of minerals in the bank, and so just using those minerals up while he spams Locust Waves, slowly chip through that economy of Cure, and keep on fighting to mine the bases you've not mined from yet. That will continue to be the goal of Rogue at the moment. Hatch going down. See the bio coming through. The planetary is going to go. Control those ultras as well. And we come with the Locust again. It's going to continue to come about. It's going to drop straight in here. Siege tank. Of course, not actually going to lose it. He is going to lose a tank. That's the thing with the Locusts. They're very slowly making progress. And you really do have to keep on buying yourself time and making things happen here. Otherwise, the Locusts never have it long enough. It's going to be interesting. There's obviously Rogue starting to take the bottom right, but Kyo's going to try and take the top left. And if you can mine from that top left and deny this base of Rogue, I do worry if Rogue's going to have enough resources left on his side of the map to make this work in the end. Resources lost is 16k different right now. This hatchery is going down. Like I say, maybe the bottom right base is getting up and mining from Rogue will make a significant difference. One of those moments where I really think the like a resources mined graph would be really cool. So you can see just how many resources are mined out from both players. Maybe get an idea of what's available from both players left as well. These and Ultras stepping about. Going to come around at the 6 o'clock, and they are going to get straight into that planetary fortress. The Ling is able to grab a siege tank already, so that's going to be a nice nab. Now the rest of the bio gathering up as well. Hellbats, tanks, ghosts, marines, all joining together. Honestly, these Locusts, they land and the Hellbats just go and they all burn to death. That's why it takes a while, because a lot of the waves are going to end up like that, but every now and again you're going to find it where the tanks are a bit spread out, where you do find that chance to jump in onto it. And Rogue could really do with a bit more gas mining. That top left base going down. He needs the bottom right to start mining some gas. Doesn't even have an extractor on both of the gases there, and that's just a mistake. Too caught up in the game. This Rich Vespine as well, losing this. I mean, these are gases which he actually really needs to mine from. Rogue needs more gas mine. He has been outmined gas-wise by Cure. I actually do think this is slipping into Cure's hands because Rogue is just not able to keep mining enough of what he needs. And his composition is based around the idea that he's going to keep outmining his opponent. Like, his composition isn't suddenly this super great, like, oh yeah, I can take a full-on one-on-one fight and this is going to go very well for me. And this fight was much better because he did find the army separated a little bit. There's quite a few Hellbats with the Locusts as well, which is nice. Hellbats ain't cheap, right? 100 minerals. Don't get me wrong, they're not the most expensive units out there, but 100 minerals, you kill a few of those, it adds up. And it's not like Hura's got an endless mineral bank himself either. It's going to be interesting. That kind of like kind of like the 530 base, I guess. The one next to kind of just east of Q is 6 o'clock. I wonder if Rogue could ever mine from that, because right now he's not mining the top left side anymore. So you'd wonder if like there's an opportunity for him to have potentially mine from that at all, or what the deal is. If he can't mine from it at all, it does feel pretty rough. Rogue playing a lot of long games today. He played a long one against Classic we didn't get to see on stream, but we saw the timer of was at 40 minutes or so. And now here in this game 2 against Cure. Sorry, it's game 1 against Cure. Second series that we've been kind of following Rogue for, though. He's caught in a long game in the opening map. Just don't know if it's really trending in his favor or in his direction at all right now. Maybe Broods. Broods might not be a terrible idea, but I think you're right in that he can't afford it. Like, the gas is just not there for him. Does have Corruptors up from dealing with Libs. Yeah, maybe some Broods would not be a terrible concept. The problem is, obviously, there's a lot of Ghosts that are just waiting to snipe broods. I think you would be absolutely fine if you came up against a round of broodlords right now. It's tough. I mean, that's kind of the situation we're in. It's going to be tough no matter what for Rogue. What about Ghost tanks? Yeah, this was a bio game, guys. This was transitioning into this kind of mech force later on. And Rogue definitely just not having too many answers for it. I wonder how much Vipers would help. Like, if you had some Vipers abducting, I wonder how much you could do with that. Probably just super dangerous with the Ghosts out, but I'm trying to think of ideas right here as these Ultras trying to make something happen. Hey, this is a nice set of Locusts. To succeed for a couple of siege tanks. That's definitely kind of the trades you're looking for as Rogue is, oh no, 3 Ultras go down. A few Ghosts defensively save that forward planetary, and that was just a waste for Rogue. Gains really nothing from that, as we are going to go down this ramp and commit into this position. We do get rid of a lot of the tanks, but we're going to get sniped on the way out. So those Ultras taking damage. They do get to creep. They do slide away, but not easily. Oh, good amount of Ling Bane still coming through the Lings. I'm going to get there. Siege tank will go down. The rest of the tank's going to step through as well as the Ghosts. Stepping forward, the Locusts are going to launch up into the skies and head toward the upper left. I like this. Instead of kind of launching the Locusts at the army every time, get them on top of some of these bases where there's no units. Put them to use again. Put some harassment in with them. This is a much more effective Locust wave right there than what we've seen the last few do, so I think it's good to mix it up. I think sometimes it's good to throw them at the army, but when you get the chance to hit a base instead, I don't hate that. I think Rogue could really do with aggressively re-expanding. The moment he sees Kira down to this bottom side, retake those hatcheries he lost in the top left, and make Kira rotate back over there to kill him off there again. As Rogue diving through, he's going to lose a lot. The Ghosts are still sniping. It's just so many Ultras going down. So expensive to replace. Rogue does have some money, but what is he going to choose to build? Kira's got good money too. Minerals mostly as... Oh, we are going to rebuild the broods. Okay. Maybe this is the beautiful moment we've been waiting for. He's had those corruptors for so long and hasn't really made much use of them. But now, we go into the Broodlord switch, and maybe it's the perfect moment where your opponent is not really set up at all to really deal with Broodlords. He doesn't really have the money to build units that deal with Broodlords. The ghost count is not high. This might be the best moment Rogue could have picked to go into the Broods. Just late game Brood switch. He's been so patiently waiting for these to come about. And now is apparently going to be the opportunity. Now is going to be the time he pulls the trigger on them. And they're going to show up. And these tanks sieging are going to regret being sieged. And immediately Kira has to start falling the hell back. One Thor comes into production, but there's just not a lot of anti-air. The Swarm Hosts are going to help to chase forward with these Broodlords initially. As they fade away, again, I wonder about the top left-hand side. We've got some Ling Bane, I believe, running into that top left corner, which means we are just going to find that. The planetary that was there defensively got taken down by the Swarm Host, so great couple of punches from Rogue, who's going to find a chunk of Ghosts. He gets forward, he jumps on those with the Lings. He gets a couple of them, and honestly, that might be good enough. Anything you can do to get rid of air-based units right now, or anti-air units, is going to be a major win when it comes to those Broodlords having an opportunity to close this game out in his favor. Rogue is broke. He's got basically no money left. He is super reliant on the army he has and the bit of mining that remains. Like I said, I'm almost surprised he didn't aggressively expand towards the top when he had the chance. I mean, he really could do with mining that base a little bit more effectively. He's only got 27 drones, though, so I get it. He does put the creep here to stop this base from mining as well, by the way, and maybe he could contend that base for his own eventually. I mean, that's maybe a long way off. What I don't love for Rogue is that he's taking a long time right now, and this time is giving you a lot of preparation as Q. I mean, he's just building Vikings. And I actually think Rogue really had Kira a little bit in kind of dire straits, but now that a few Vikings are up, nothing really fights these Vikings. The anti-air for Rogue is a singular queen, so these Broodlords are just dead. Like, nothing actually fights Vikings off right now. He starts to rebuild Corruptors, but he's poor because he's not rebuilt bases. He's blown all of his money. And Rogue is not going to have the anti-air to actually make these Broodlords work out. He's going to have to just surge this army right here and now. Like, he has to do significant work now so he can win this game with a ground army rather than the Broods, because the Broods are going to die, given a little bit of time. So this needs to be a fantastic fight, and I just do not think it's good enough. This Kyo will have Ghost left over, Snipes left over. The Swarm Host on cooldown from Rogue. He is being chased. It was honestly a really good timing on the Broodlord switch. Yeah, it was a really good Broodlord switch, but I actually think he needed to keep pushing and just go and just never stop. And bottom left. There's going to be our red Zerg player. This is a Rogue. Taking on the blue Terran in the top left-hand side with the 1-0 lead. It is going to be Kua. So, Ed Banom, thank you so much for the 55-month resub. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the stream today. As we get ourselves into game 2 of this best of 3. The WardiTV Mondays semi-final. So nice to be here on the Monday again, guys. Continue to bring you guys all the games. As our refinery comes up, we get set to roll. Pool coming down. Hatch, gas, and pool all coming up for the moment. And yeah, racks on the SCV coming about as well. Little bits and pieces coming through for now. Getting settled in these early stages. Again, Reaper and the Orbital both coming up. That's going to be seeing the SCV going to go plant the CC onto the natural. A lot moving through. Reaper comes over. I'm just going to be seeing the factory. Well, probably going to see a factory soon. I was going to see I was meant to say the hatchery, honestly, but there probably will be a factory here from a Terran place. Let's just roll with it. Obviously, Reaper first into the Marine, and if there's not a factory, I mean, that'd be kind of wild. You know, some 2-1-1. Not impossible. You're obviously going to see the factory, though. I mean, even gets sped up a bit because you go factory before the reactor or anything, right? So, a little bit faster as we continue to settle to play. We're just going to fly a couple of Lings, take some shots. We've seen the Ling speed still coming about. Drones coming through. Command centers on the way. Country is building. The Reaper is just going to get chased about. The Queen is going to be there. Next he gets turned around. Continue to come through. The hatch coming up. Those drones continue to come into play. The starport coming about. The CC coming over. Continue to get that all a-rolling. Orbital command coming into play. SCV in production. And the factory ready to land down onto that reactor in the next few moments. And drone is Queen. Link speed. Continue to come about. Barracks going to float up in toward the main base for a little bit. Drop down. Attack lab. And the Queen's going to be there to push the Reaper back the other way. It was a satisfying game. It was honestly a pretty cool first game, to be honest. I mean, Rogue's switching to Swarm Host, I think, has a lot of potential, but honestly, I mean, to be fair, I think it's tough, but I actually think he could have done better with the Swarm Host, because honestly, a lot of the defense against Swarm Host was always in the same place on the army. And while he had some success breaking the army down a little, I actually think he could have had a lot more success with, you know, Swarm Host hitting some bases a bit earlier and a bit sooner. And if he did that, maybe you could argue he could have kept... I mean, honestly, if he just had another base up, I wonder if he could have stayed in that game a bit as well. Because if he could get a few more Corruptors up and truly use the Broodlords properly and protect them... the problem was he just kept losing bases and he couldn't keep bases alive. But if he hit Kua's bases a little bit more frequently with the Swarm Host's counterattacks, for example, maybe there could have been some success there. Because Kua would have ran out of stuff a lot sooner as well. So Rogue genuinely made it very close. I think he just needed to be a little bit more aggressive on retaking bases or keeping bases alive, or if he's losing bases, trade out for bases, right? there was a point in the game where he was always killing the Terran base in that bottom side. And if he'd kept that up, I mean, that's always the challenge because Terrans always seem to find a way to secure those bases. But if you keep those bases dropping, the Terran never stabilizes into a better and stronger position, right? So, yeah, look at reasonable. Cloak coming in on the starport. Just going to be seeing the Banshee and the So coming through. Queen's going to be there. A couple of Hellions coming by, getting rid of some of the creep spread for the moment as well. Couple of Ovies coming up. Queen is still coming through. Hatchery coming online. Gets settled into play here just for the moment as the starport goes to a reactor. Factory to a tech lab. And yeah, a couple of Evo chambers plus the infestation pit all building online at the moment. Those Banshees are still joined up together as well. Early infestation pit with that Roachron. Very similar vibe to that previous game, right? Because he had that Roach defense early in the game as well to kind of get him into a good stable position initially. As Banshees get to work, 4 drones already going down, so some success right there. You see the Hellions gathering together, the Reaper as well joining up, 1-1 upgrades, Stimpack coming through. The Medivacs and the Marines continue to come about, add a reactor on as well, so all of that continues in as the Hellions is going to go jumping onto the Queens already. Bulling's going to get a wrap around onto a set of rocks there as well. It's just going to put some work in, get some damage done. As you have the, Marines, the tank, continue to come around, and that lair still coming online. Oh, sorry, Hive coming online. Lair, where am I? The 5-minute marker. 6 minutes when the Hives come in. So yeah, this Roach infestation pit opening into the melee upgrades. We'll invest into the Roach speed as the Wings gonna get by and they threaten. I think they didn't really want to hit the mineral line because the Banshees were nearby, but then running over here, they just find units as well, so not gonna do too much. Nice idea though. I mean, even just threatening the idea of a run by a lot of the time can keep the Terran a little scared. This is a ferocious attack though. Now Rogue supply blocked as well, as Roaches are still trying to come out on production. Obviously, no investment on these Roaches outside of an attempted Roach speed, which is not here yet. The Ravager's gonna try and corrosive file. The single tank in the back is doing a lot, but we are going to break through. The Queen count helping a lot with that as well. Having 9 Queens helping to really shove this army away and just giving a little bit more life to those Roaches in the form of those transfusions goes a huge way to helping out as the rest of those Marines and Medivacs continue to gather together. The Baneling Nest coming online, 22 additional Zerglings coming online. The Banshee's still getting through with some of that creep clearing for the moment. Step up, Queen goes down, a couple of creep teamers going with it. You're going to see the Spore Crawler there is going to get rid of one of those Banshees, and still the Marines and the tank gathering together for the moment. We've got the Banshee just firing, a couple of Changelings going down still. We do have the Ultra Cavern on the way. If this is feeling a bit like Deja Vu, it's just very similar to the style Rogue played in game number 1. To be fair, the style put him into a good place. I don't think there was anything wrong with how Rogue got set up initially in that last game. This game he's going to be playing against a more aggressive Terran who will choose to go into the 8 racks rather than the... Oh, sorry, no, there is a 4th on the way. Apologies, take it back. I saw the extra barracks, and I just completely ignored the fact there was the command center build, so... It is going to be 4 CCs. Again, these Lings going to hit. We had a similar attack last game too. This time you might be able to do a little bit more. Roach Ravager going to push forward at the same time. It looks like those Lings on the other side are going to get cleaned up, so no success there as the Marines just push straight in and this hatchery is going down. Command Center going to lift off and move over to the side as well. It's going to be seeing the Marines taking a chance to come through. A couple creep tumors are dropping. It's going to see the Banshee still flying across as a couple more creep tumors get picked away at as well, so damage continues to be done. Tank will and Siege relocate. 2 more Ultras on the way through for the moment. So there's a couple Ultras coming about. Ling Bane still coming in. Marines and Tanks is going to get towards the upper right. We do have Zerglings. It's going to get jumped on. Marine's going to go and jump into the back of the mains. Just going to get through there. Marine's just going to go Ultra Cavern. Is going to get picked off. Those Lings are still coming through as well. They are, and they kind of get obliterated. Spawn pool coming through. A couple of Vipers are going to drop the parasitic bombs onto all of those medevacs as well. That is going to be a clear up. Wow, it was a pretty nasty clear up, really, right? Everything ends up dying. Nothing. Okay, I was going to say there's nothing in those two medevacs, but there's an army coming up behind it as well. But those Ultras here, and they're going to go chomp, chomp, chomping. The Marines are caught and we're slow to pick up. To be fair, I mean, the two medevacs couldn't fit everything, but they could have picked up sooner. Two tanks go down as well. Rogue is absolutely stomping on all of Q's attempted aggression. These Vipers are adding a lot. We didn't really see Vipers last game, right? He really focused on infestor production, but now the Vipers actually adding a lot to this and getting a lot of work done. And Rogue bouncing back strong in this series as he challenges in this game 2 of the best of 3. Bio tanks continuing by, just going to be seeing the Banshee firing onto the hatch. Approach Ravager going the other direction. A couple of Banes are rolling around. Bio tank joined together as well to just see the Lurker Den coming up. Means we'll get that Banshee, going to trade a transfusion onto each other for a couple of moments as well, because why the hell not? And the Medivacs is going to go boosting down to that right-hand side. So yeah, Medivacs continue to journey about. Nidus Network coming through. Lurker Den is coming up. Our hatchery continues to produce as the, again, +3 Carapace, +1 missiles continue to come into play. Drilling Claws is coming online. We have the additional Widow Mines in as well. Hydras, Vipers, Ravagers, and Banes continue to step across Medivacs and Biounits down the right. And again, abduct on the Medivac. That doesn't quite go down. The Ultralisk will be there on the right side to play defense. I love what Rogue has done. For me now, it's about him changing this into something that can win the game. Right? He's done the defensive part. He's done a great job of it. Like I say, what I think he really needs to do now is to show us that he can turn this around onto the other side of the map and make game-winning moves with his army. Or make an army that will then be able to make some of those game-winning moves, you know? I think that's where we're at right now, is the Hydras here are going to get a little bit overwhelmed. The Ultra counterattack has potential, but we're going to lose a hatchery, so right now we're still struggling with some of this Terran army. Rogue supply is not looking pretty. And this is what I'm meaning. We've had a lot of what feels like good defenses. Resource loss is still in Q's favor, but I mean, when isn't it in a Terran's favor? It's only 3,000. It's not bad for a 30-minute game. Gonna build another Nidus network. I do not think an extra Nidus is what we need right now, Rogue. We need to get units up. We need to freaking get rid of this Terran force from your position. We need to re-establish our bases, get some creep back in front of our bases. All the good defenses Rogue has had, some of the other parts of the game have actually slipped away, and more than I really recognize as well, because like I say, the creep really isn't anywhere in front of some of these bases. That's going to be struggling to kind of have map control. Yeah, he's actually struggling a lot more than I really thought he was at first. I really felt some of the defense he had was setting him up into a great position. Now these few Ravagers are just getting caught. I'm not sure what these were doing here kind of on their own accord. I mean, maybe you just want to... I mean, do you ever really want to trade out Ravagers? Like, I feel like it's always nice to have the Ravagers. Like, at least let them go, you know, if they're going to go down, they can just go down in a bit of a fight, right? Nidus Network settles into the upper right side for the moment. Things, Banes, Hydra's going to come through, the Widow Mines will step up. Also going to be seeing the Ling Banes. Still going to try and crash on through the Bioforce, stepping back a little bit. Some parasitic bombs going in after the Medivacs as well. +2 missiles, +3 Carapace, all of that continuing through. The Lings and the Hydras continuing up, drones being added on as well. Lurker's Burrow. As the Bio joins up, Medivacs gather, and we figure out what our next stage of this is going to look like. Preparation from Cure looks good though. Factory's coming up. His supply actually trails a little bit right now. Terran's supply can bounce back pretty quickly a lot of the time as long as he's got money, which he kind of does. going to show up. Factory's going to take some shots. Going to go jumping on towards a couple of tanks here. It's actually nice because the tanks will friendly fire each other down, and these lurkers are out and about trying to make some things happen. So they're going to get burrowed, obviously. Again, something a bit different to the last game, switching towards the lurkers in the later stages. Rogue definitely adjusting his style a little bit here as the supplier queue continues to sit at about 170. He has money, so he saw some of that rebuild potential. Nidus gets up, but will not get anything out before the ghosts respond. This is 5 ghosts that are just running around the main and natural defending Nidus. Is like, that's a lot of very significant supplies. Oh my goodness, we lurkers actually come out. We are going to get rid of a bunch of those ghosts. Kills come through. Lurkers continue to put the work in. So many SCVs going down. The refinery's dropping, the Liberator and the Liberator's coming out. Advanced Ballistics coming through. We have the ghosts still coming around. That's going to be seen. The bio still coming over. The libs overhead. It's going to be sieging up as well. 20 SCVs going down at the moment. Wow, what a play from Rogue. I can't believe it just looked like that Nidus was just given up on, and he just gets a few lurkers out. Q is not watching it because he presumes it's dealt with, and he loses the ghosts. And wow, huge value from the Nidus in the first place. Never mind the continuation there. As Rogue will back away now with those lurkers on the right side. Time frame to maybe get a Spire. This is becoming a bit of a Liberator-based defense, so some Corruptors would be nice to add in. Don't have any Corruptors yet. We do have Vipers and Hydras, so it might not be super essential, actually. I don't think getting a Spire would be a bad thing anyway, especially right now where your money is banked up a little bit. You know, Spire is something that's always good to have eventually. And if there's enough Liberators, Hydras don't cut it, even if you've got, you know, Viper support too. So I wouldn't hate that kind of movement, to be honest. CV's moving. Look, he's going to get some shots off. Hatchery to the left-hand side, settling down. Another lurker gets picked away at the SCV. Is going to get to the top right. CC is going to land as well. 17 overlords just got made by Rogue as he preps to fly masses of overseers around the map and lose a bunch of them, presumably 2 snipes. So he prepares for that, overbuilding the overlords ahead of time. Hydras and the Banes step forward as well. We do see a few of those Hydras popping out of the Nidus. Best look and nab. It's going to be seeing the Hydras coming through. The Lurkers are coming through. And Bane Hydra coming about. We'll see a Depot just going to get grabbed as well. There's one Depot going down. A couple of snipes onto a few Banelings. Drone's coming about. We are going to see a command center coming in. +3 missiles, +3 melee. Continue coming on through. The overseers are coming over. As Marauders get rid of the Nidus network on the right side as well. It's a nice grab. We Nidus network the upper right side. Guys, I'll just give you a little pre-warning. I have Twitch ads that are coming in 2.5 minutes. Because we had a really long game before this one, I've already used all the snoozers, which usually like help me push them back and keep them until the end of the games. I have no way to stop these ads that are coming in. So if this game doesn't end in the next 2 minutes, there will be ads during the game. It's one of the rare times where a few long matches back to back are just making it kind of impossible for us to avoid them. So just a little heads up. Use your Twitch Primes right now if you want to avoid those ads, is the TLDR. But yeah, they'll be coming in a minute or two. So apologies, like I said, I can't do anything to stop them. So, like I say, apologies on that one. We are going to see the Ling Bane surging forward, though, as maybe Rogue looks to end the game before then. The nice of ducks on the Liberators. The Bane's actually going to surge on forward. There's a lot of those Banes still chasing. We got rid of a lot of the tanks, but there's still a few throwing that splash damage in there and knocking that Baneling count down a little bit. Just going to be seeing the changelings coming around. 76 lings in reproduction. That's fine for Rogue. He's rich right now. The problem is Kira is a, 6-base Terran, so he's also kind of rich. His bank is not the biggest, but it's fine. He's mining a lot. He's mining plenty as we continue through. So yeah, I think we are in a good position at the moment to... I think we're in a good position to see Rogue kind of still be fine, but Q is also fine. Like, they're both playing this game. There's a game that is likely not going to end over one fight. Probably going to take a couple of engagements here and there, most likely. For this kind of stage, fire comes through, Knight is going down. The rest of this army still gathering up together. We will see the Knight's attempt still coming through. Can we get forward there? The scan already came into place. We get rid of one siege tank, but the other tanks are just right there already, right? So they are just going to be absolutely A-okay. Factory's going to come in once again right there, so factory coming through, just going to have, again, the Thor production starting. Again, Thor's a good thing to kind of buff up the army a little bit. It's going to be a bit of preemptive work against the Broodlord switch as well, which is one of the dangerous moments Rogue had in a previous game too. Kind of goes in with a few lings, the Blue Flame Hellbats, kind of get rid of those. Main army still posturing though, looking for the larger fight potentially. There we go, Viper's going to be right there, the Bane's going to connect, Parasitic Bombs as well. A large fight, but like I say, this is really not looking to be decided over one engagement. This is going to be backing away, rebuilding. Going again, but we do get the Nidus in the top right at the same time, and the Lurkers are going to get there. Rogue loses the gold base, loses a lot of Overseers to Snipes, but the Lurkers are going to get rid of the upper right-hand command center. Or not? No, they're going to get away before the Ghosts show up. And so Cure is going to get a cleanup there, and Rogue just respects that units were showing up, so he just goes and respects that in a big way. Look, they're still gathering. A couple of Hydras onto the CC. A couple of these Spires continuing through. The Hydra still coming up. Hydras network is building. Still trying to use these Field Lurkers on the left-hand side, but not much success just yet. So, those Field Lurkers continue to come around looking for some opportunity. Yeah, Lurkers right now going to have to unburrow around. They get away from the Snipes. Lovely stuff for the Lurkers. Rogue is going to struggle to take that gold base again, though. That's a huge base because this is not a map where you can steal your opponent's hatcheries or locations very easily. So you kind of need to mine this gold base to mine more than the Terran in the game, or heavily deny every base or some of the bases on the map, and that's just not easily done because eventually a Terran, if one base is super important, Terrans can just camp out on that location. That's what Terran army is absolutely amazing for. Lurker's going to dive forward there. The Thor's going down. See the masses of Overseer sieging up overhead, make it difficult to snipe those Lurkers. As we have got the Lurkers going to hold their ground at the moment here in this game too. It felt like it was all about Rogue earlier on, but Cure is once again doing a fantastic job of slowing the game down and bring it to a point which we're at now that is very potent. The Liberator's siege again. The Liberators don't care about Overseers in the sky, so Lurkers will just have to get out of there. 24 new Hydras made by Rogue. Cure is kind of sitting at 160 supply, has some money to spend, but is not yet spending it. Looks like he's mostly focused on the factory units, and I wonder if he could just do with a couple more factories. If he's going to produce only Hellbats and tanks at this stage, it might just be worth 2 more factories so you can continue that production a bit more quickly. The last thing you want is to die because you didn't have all the production you could have afforded to have built from. Just kind of ready to go. A couple snipes there, Lurker's getting cleaned up. As Cure, I mean, it's wild if Cure gets the gold base, but he's absolutely right to contest it because if Rogue can't stop that, then eventually Cure mines the top left, that base there with that Nidus on it. Rogue will really struggle to win this game in that scenario. We're going to dive through, the Overseer setup, the Hydras are going to fight. We're going to see a couple of snipes coming down at the same time, so a few shots coming through already. Hydra's going to continue to dart over to that right-hand side where Liberator goes down, Planetary Fortress going to shoot a few shots, the Hellbats are going to take some damage. We'll see the SCVs wrapping around the Planetary Fortress as... for the Hydra's got the numbers, I actually think they do, and we are going to see the Planetary going down. Huge denial, as I was saying, that gold base is super important. And if you mine that as Cure, I actually think that wins you a lot of games no matter what. So, yeah, I think that's huge, but right now we're actually going to get rid of so much. We continue to dive forward. These tanks are not set up just yet. Are we just going to lurch forward with the Hydras? We might. There's a lot of tanks, but they get blinding clouded. That's going to give Rogue the chance to keep on going through, and he is going to be able to take on those tanks much better than we initially thought he would. And now Cure's bank is at zeros on the minerals pretty much, so he does not have consistent reproduction, while Rogue is more or less maxed out again and money still to spend. He's missing about 15 supply, but he's got 4k, 2k banked up, so Rogue should be okay to fully remax here in the next few moments. Flying back overhead, the Hydra's coming through, the Lurkers gathering together. As the Marauder goes, going to fly through. A couple of those drones begin to go down. It's going to be seeing the Hydras and the Banes going to continue forward as well. So again, we just come flying straight through this for a couple of moments. Those Hydras again on top of a lot of those Ghosts right now. The tank going down. Q's defense definitely feel broken at the moment. Every single fight, he's losing siege tanks, he's losing these units that are meant to be very sturdy. Hydra's lunge forward, that might be a mistake into the Liberators and with the units coming from the bottom side, but I mean, again, Kira is at zeros on the minerals. He is hard carried right now by whatever he's just mining. And mules do help you with that, but it does feel like Rogue has the edge to kind of keep pushing it at the moment. If you can just spend the rest of his money. Is he lava starved? No. Just spent the lava right there on a bunch more Hydras. So, no, he's not lava starved. He could absolutely spend the rest of his money. I wonder if he's just deciding what to spend it on as well. Could be something of a factor. A couple Liberators get sieged up. Changeling's been targeted down. Overseer's coming about. Spine setting up on the left-hand side. Lingbane Hydra continue to produce. Tanks and Hellbats building. Missile turrets on the way. Those Lurkers set on the right side. Again, the Libs and the tanks continue to come through. +3 vehicle plating coming about. We still see the Banes gathering. Everything joining in. And Cure keep on holding out. Supply is fair. You know, it's fine. It's not the best. He's not maxed. He's not got a bunch of money, but as seconds pass by, more of that money comes in. He closes the gap on the army and will take an army lead eventually because he has less SCVs in the game. These spine crawlers here will not hold their own. Interesting that Rogue was kind of pushing those so far up. Oh, we're going to pull the trigger. Here we go. Rogue dives in. The Lingbane Hydra steps on through. The Blinding Cloud's coming down. Oh, is it enough Blinding Clouds? The Hydras are cleaning up a lot of the siege tanks. Q supply is definitely falling. Sub 100. It looks like Rogue has overwhelmed him here in the center of Persephone. Lunging through, this time successfully to knock down a Liberator and a tank. And then backing it up to just grab some reinforcing Zerglings and most likely go again to end the game. As Rogue doubling Q on the supply for a moment or two there and looking as though this game is going to be locked down in his favor. Again, 90 more Lings, couple of the Banes, the Viper coming through. Marine Marauder, Medevac, and +3 vehicle plating. Continue out. A couple of those siege tanks still coming online as well. There's a couple of Banes pop. The Hydras gather. Liberator sets up. A bunch of those Changelings going down once more. As we have the 22 additional Lings continuing to produce on through. Lingbane Hydra sets up. We will just see the Libs and the tanks continuing through. Hellbat's coming up as well. Lug's going to be there. A couple of those Marines get chased away. Other units coming around also. The Viper's still going to be chilling overhead. What does the green force field do? That's an acceleration zone. So units move faster on the ground and in the skies through it. So anything in there just has a movement speed increase. So it makes the right side of the map very quick to run up and down. It's very fun. I'm watching the chat while casting? Absolutely. That's what streamers do. And so our Vipers are looking once again for the potential to maybe get something done here. The Lingbane going to go diving in. Here we go. Ling's going to go jumping onto these siege tanks. Man, a bunch of the tanks topside took a bunch of damage straight away. I think that was friendly fire from the first Lings getting to them and tanks hitting those Lings. Rogue still has a bit more money in the bank to rebuild with, so he doesn't have to win right here and now. And he is struggling to finish Cure off. I think these Hydras, I almost want to say they can leap to that upper left kind of group of units, but He's going to play the respectful situation and just back it up again. Another... I feel like every time I look at the production tab, it's 92 Zerglings that are building right now, which is a little bit crazy. Like, just the fact that it always seems to be 92. Not like 90, not like 94, not 80s or 100. Like, always 92. Kira's just a little bit too far back. I mean, at this point, Rogue's basically building mid-tier units to just overwhelm Kira. And it's just a question of, can Kira get enough up to sustain himself against that? The big win for Rogue taking these fights is that he's established the gold base on the right. But now Kira's going to try and establish this base on the left. A fully fresh base that Kira could mine from. I actually think Rogue really wants to get there and fight this and not let that mine. Because if Kira mines from that, it could make a big difference. This is a 14,000 resource lost game. If Kira mines that location, it makes it that much tougher for Rogue to truly end this. Rogue just start using Nidus. I'd love a Nidus between like the top two bases. And just kind of have the choice of where you hit. I feel like that would be huge, but I think he's just putting everything into breaking Kira because he feels like he doesn't need to split Kira up. I think he knows he's got the better, larger army right now. Attacking into the defensive Terran, though, is always risky. We are going to get rid of a lot of the tanks. The Vipers are going to try and make their getaway. Man, the army supplies are so close coming out of this. The problem is going to be, do we have the numbers just on the ground against the low-tech units that still remain here from Rogue? There's no spellcasters left. There's a couple of ghosts. There is a single siege tank we chase. We actually get a ghost kill because of the friendly fire from the siege tank there. The SCVs are going to turn and fight a couple of those Lings coming through. As we are going to be seeing the Lings continue to try and fight at the moment. Overseers are chilling. A couple of Hydras and the Lurk are coming around. Hydra's going to fight. Bio coming over. Again, units gathering up. Hydras and Lurk are still coming through. Rogue, again, army supplies are so close together at the moment, but Kira is at one of the lower points of mining he's been at, but then this fresh base should help him out as well. He is mining more than Rogue right now, and Rogue does not have a bank any longer. I do like the Lurkers, though, from Rogue, because right now what we have done is removed a lot of the tech out of the game from the Terran. So now the Lurkers are really potent compared to what they were before, where the Ghosts were just sniping them down and it didn't really matter too much. It's a very different scenario here this time around, and these Lurkers are going to get in towards start pressuring this base. It's not a planetary, that's a big deal. If there's a planetary attacking in there, it would become so much more difficult. That's a great abduct on one of the Ghosts. And those Lurkers just putting some work in. The Vipers coming through. Oop. I think he just abducted something that died, and the abduct just fizzled, if I'm not mistaken. Looked a little bit funky. Unless I just missaw, because I just turned to say hello to Ellie, who just walked in. 130 to 100 supply. Is Rogue letting this game slip away from him? I mean, he is trying to build up as much as he can. I like the Lurkers, but as he waits, I mean, there's more of an answer to Lurkers again as well, right? The Ghosts are still building here. He saved the unit with the medevac. Thank you guys. Like I said, I turned back to it because I said hello to Ellie quickly. I turned back and saw the abduct just fizzle. Yeah. Thank you for keeping me right. This time we do get some abducts. I mean, at this point, Rogue's looking for actual efficiency again rather than just surging through. And the Vipers plus Lurkers are very good at that. Just gotta keep on trying for it as we're gonna get the Vipers consumed back up, ready to go again. And oh, I love the nuke. We've not really seen a lot of nukes in this game. Oh, the EMP on all the Vipers. We're gonna have to leave. We cannot now abduct the Ghost. Yeah, I love it because obviously the nuke breaks the position, and it means that all this progress that Rogue has been making, kind of get into position here, suddenly disappears. Now the gold base goes down. A little drop over there is going to be extremely successful, so the hatch will fall, and Rogue started to build in towards a bit of a slower army, and now is almost under pressure just to go because he lost the gold base. Now he's mined a lot of the minerals there. Kira has so much mining. Has Rogue got any mining right now? His income is at 300 to 2,000 on the mineral income. Oh my goodness. I kind of feel like Rogue is not going to have this one, guys. Lurkers step up. The Vipers sit overhead. Lurkers move further around the left side. Orbital will take a bit of a beating. SCVs begin to drop. The Viper's going to abduct, but they do get EMP. Do we at least kill the Ghost? We only kill them because Kira walked the Ghost back in. Now we're going to get snipes off. The lurkers are going down. I do not think Rogue has this game, guys. I think he struggled to close it out. And Cure has held on long enough to grab victory in this best of 3. Crazy. I just don't... I think it's obviously not completely over yet, and I would hate to stir up our StarCraft comment threads about how I call the games too soon, but I think at this point, it's safe to say Cure is favored in the game again. Like, obviously it's not over, but I would say that the odds have flipped back into Cure's favor at this stage. I wonder if Rogue had just... It's really tough to say. I mean, I think there's moments in this game where he could have Broodlord switched. He was rich enough and Cure was poor enough, it would have just worked and killed him. That is the difficulty of ZvT, where it's like, it's so hard to make the judgment call of, hey, I can just blast through with Lingbane Hydra, versus actually, I need to get like Lurkers and Vipers and trade a bit more efficiency, versus I need to, you know, I could make like a big tech switch and actually win the game because he's not prepared for it. Like, those decisions are so difficult to make, but they are what win and lose you these ZvTs in the late game, even from strong positions, because each position is so delicate and unique, and each one definitely has a better answer or a different way to kind of approach it. Abduct, Siege Tank going down, the Lurkers continue to put some work in. Hellbats and Ghosts continue to come through for the moment. The drones long distancing as Rogue just tries to scrap together any sort of income. The deal breaker is really being Cure just taking this base. It's kind of funny because the moment that Rogue denied the gold and took it for himself, Cure went up here, and this has been the tougher position for for Rogue to deal with. At this point, Cure is attacking into Lurkers. That's never a good sign for the Zerg when the Terran feels like they can attack into the Lurkers. I mean, it was not terrible for Cure. Like, it wasn't terrible for Rogue, but he just doesn't have enough in the end. GGs get called. Cure takes it 2-0. A fantastic best of 3.